When we think of ancient wonders, our minds usually jump to massive temples or palaces for kings. But what if I told you that the same level of genius that created a royal water paradise was also at work in a simple clay pot? Today, we're digging into the incredible ingenuity of ancient Sri Lanka, from the most spectacular gardens you can imagine to the humble, everyday objects that literally built a civilization. So let's just start with this. Take a look at Sigiriya. Wow. It's so much more than just a fortress on top of a giant rock. What you're seeing around it is one of the oldest and most advanced landscaped gardens on the entire planet. A true work of art from all the way back in the 5th century. And that brings up the big question, right? How on earth did they do it? How did a civilization from 1500 years ago, with no modern machinery, no electricity, no pumps, engineer a paradise of flowing water and perfectly manicured gardens? It seems almost impossible. Well, to get to the bottom of it, you have to understand that Sigiriya wasn't just some random one-off project. Nope, it was actually the high point of a very long and very proud royal tradition of building these magnificent gardens in ancient Lanka. And we're not talking about your average backyard garden here. These were incredibly complex pleasure parks. They were designed with all sorts of water features, specifically for royalty to relax, have fun, and even do things like water sports. Think of them as the five-star, all-inclusive resorts of their time. And this tradition goes way, way back. The very first garden on record was built by King Mudaseva. From there, over the centuries, king after king added their own creations, each one building on the knowledge of the last. It's this long history of practice and innovation that finally led to the absolute masterpiece we see at Sigiriya, built by King Kasyapa I. Now, sadly, a lot of those early gardens are lost to time. But lucky for us, two spectacular examples have survived, and they give us an amazing window into the technical brilliance of their creators. First up, we have Ramasu Uyana in Anuradhapura. This place was a royal retreat designed specifically for comfort in a really hot climate. And its secret weapon? A super clever system of pipes that brought cool water in directly from the nearby Tisaweva Reservoir. And this is where you really see their core philosophy. They didn't try to fight the environment. They worked with it. The entire garden was laid out to take advantage of the natural slope of the land. This ensured a constant, gentle, and cooling flow of water through all of its rock-carved pools and resting places. Just brilliant. So all of that practice, all of that knowledge, it all leads us to the main event. Now we're ready to unlock the secrets behind the hydraulic marvel that is Sigiriya. Okay, so how do you get fountains without a single pump? It's pure, simple genius, and it's powered entirely by the landscape. Water from the high ground around the rock is collected and funneled into these underground drains. As that water rushes downhill, it naturally builds up a ton of pressure. Then they place these special stone slabs with tiny holes in them to partially block the drains. The pressurized water has nowhere else to go but up, shooting through those little holes and creating these incredible fountains. The result is just stunning. And what you're looking at aren't modern reconstructions, those are the originals. The truly mind-blowing part is that they still work. During the rainy season, they fire up perfectly, powered by nothing more than gravity and some seriously clever 1,500-year-old engineering. So what this really shows us is that these gardens weren't just pretty places to hang out. They were complete functional ecosystems. Every single detail, from the road networks to the resting pavilions, was meticulously planned to work in perfect harmony with the natural environment. Okay, but here's the thing. This spirit of ingenuity, this idea of shaping the natural world to fit your needs, it wasn't just for kings and their fancy gardens. It was also at the very heart of the technology that made daily life possible for everybody. And it came straight from the ground beneath their feet, clay. You see, the long road to building a wonder like Sigiriya had to start somewhere. And for early civilizations, there was nothing more fundamental than clay. It was everywhere, it was easy to get, and you could shape it with your hands. This was one of the first times humanity really started to transform the raw materials of the planet into useful tools. Now, at first, people just shaped the clay and let it dry in the sun. But that stuff was brittle. It just didn't last. The real game changer, the huge technological leap, came when they figured out you could fire the clay in a kiln. That process completely transformed the soft earth into a hard, durable, waterproof material, and that changed everything. This amazing discovery kicked off a whole sophisticated industry around pottery. But there was one more invention that really took things to the next level and allowed the craft to absolutely explode. And that invention was the potter's wheel. It was a complete revolution. All of a sudden, you could make pots that were more uniform, that had a better finish, and you could make them way, way faster. This was the key to the mass production of essential goods for everyone. And this is what that technology made possible. You could create beautiful, high-quality goods, like this pot from the early Anuradhapura kingdom. It's the perfect example of how pottery went from just being a basic utility to a form of skilled craftsmanship, absolutely essential for storing water, cooking food, and for trade. And this craft never stood still. It was always evolving. With the arrival of skilled potters from India around the 3rd century BC, new techniques and styles were introduced, which pushed the island's already ancient pottery traditions even further. And this is what brings our two stories together. That incredible skill behind the gravity-fed fountains and the expertise that went into perfecting a simple clay pot, they both came from the exact same mindset. It's a deep understanding of the materials you have and a powerful drive to shape your environment to meet your needs, whether it's for a king's entertainment or for a family's dinner. So it really leaves you with a final thought. From these incredible fountains to the perfect pot, ancient ingenuity is all around us, often hiding in plain sight. It makes you wonder, doesn't it? What other hidden genius from our past do we walk by every single day without even realizing it's there?